Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'll be showing you how to make this glowing galaxy style text animation in Blender using geometry nodes. Quick note, make sure the Node Wrangler add-on is enabled. Just head to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons and tick Node Wrangler. Alright, let's dive in. A to delete everything in my scene first. I'm going to press Shift A, add a text, RX90 to rotate it by 90 degrees. Then we're going to come to our geometry nodes tab here. I'm just going to close this window right here. So I'm going to press new to create a new geometry node, and then I'm going to press Shift A. The first node we are going to be adding is a string to curves. Connect the curve instance output to this geometry, and now we can use this string input right here to input any text that you want. I'm just going to use Galaxy. Then I want to choose a font. You can use any font that you want, absolutely, but I downloaded a font here, Arbitron, and that's what I'm going to be using for this one. Come to my front view, and I want to move this towards the center. I'm going to press Shift A, and we're going to have a resample curve. It's not really necessary, but the more the count you have, the more detail it gives you your animation, so to say. So I'm just going to make this something like 120, and yeah, just to refine it out. Then I'm going to press Shift A, and next we'll add a curves to point. So I'm just going to press Shift A, set curve radius, and I'm just going to put it here and just reduce it like that. Depending on how you want to basically animate it, will determine the number of points. So I think for our animation, a total of 150 is enough because the animation will be 5 seconds. So let me just reduce the radius a bit. Then press Shift A, add an instance on point. Press Shift A, and I'll add a UV sphere. And I'm just going to move it along this line. Then you can reduce the size. Now I'm going to press Ctrl A to apply scale. So with that done now, I just want you to select your text object again, add an object info node. Now look for the sphere, select it, the sphere object. Now connect the geometry into the instance. Press Shift A. I'm going to add a random value node and just plug it to the scale like so. Then you can reduce the max so that they all have a random value. To animate this, for the first frame, we are going to input a total count of just 1 or 0 probably, and on the last frame we set it to the total amount we want. So at this point 150 is okay. So if I come to my count here, I'm just going to press I to insert a keyframe for that side. Then I go to frame 1, I'm going to change the count to 1, then I insert a keyframe. So now if I select this node and I play, you can see that it's animating. So now if you want, you can refine the movement of the animation. Make sure that the node with the animation is first selected. Then you can select your text object in the world. When you do so, you will see the animation. So I'm just going to press T, and I'm going to change it to sort of a linear animation. So if you play, everything will be linear and it will just start like that. Press Shift A to add in a camera now, and I'm just going to press Control at number pad 0. Alright, so this is what we have. Then maybe I'll move it up a little bit like so. Alright, perfect. And then I'm going to drag to create a new window. With the camera still selected, I'm going to come to viewport display, and I'm going to set the part out value to 1. Going to our shading tab now. So we're going to be giving it 3 different materials. I'm going to select the default sphere object, and I'm going to change this to the shader editor. Then we're going to create a new material for the sphere. Now I'm going to change this from the principled BSDF to just an emission shader, plug this to the surface. Then I'm going to use sort of a galaxy theme for the color scheme that I want. I'm just going to paste an S code for the color that I want. So I'll be using 3 colors. So this is sort of a pink X code. So you can just see the X code right here. So you can copy it if you want. This will be for the first one. I'm just going to name the material, change it from material 1. We're just going to create another new material. Now you can still use this one, then make sure that you click on this to make it a different material from the first. Then I'm going to just paste a new S code. So this is sort of like a neon purple, so I'm going for a purple sort of color scheme. Alright, good. Then we're going to add one more material, so we basically repeat the same step. So we'll select this and just copy like so. So we have 3 separate materials, and you can see already they are taking effect in our viewport. So I'm going to change this to sort of violet pink, because that's the color. Alright, good. But you observe one problem. What I want, the reason why we're adding 3 different materials to this fairway instance on the text is that we want different parts of the text to have a different material, so to say. So what I will do is we're now going to go back to our geometry node tab so that we can assign those different materials to the text. Let me just drag this down. I'm competing for space right now. So I'm going to now change this to the geometry node editor. So I'm going to select the text object. So we're going to add a stored named attribute node, and we're going to add an index so that we can add various materials to different parts of the text. I'm just going to press Shift A, realize instances node. It's very important. Then you're now going to add a stored named attribute and plug it between here. Now name it whatever you want. So I'm just going to name it R. Then I'm going to change it from float to integer and from point to instance. Next, we're just going to press Shift A, and we're going to add an index node. Now connect the index to the value here. Try and save up space. So let me just drag up so that you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, so connect the index to the value, and what we'll do now is we're now going to add Shift A, a set material index. Plug it here. Add a named attribute. Change it to integer. Then you want to use the name of the attributes that you entered in. I'm just going to press R, which was what we saved with, and I'm just going to connect attributes into the material index. So by the time you do that, you should see that different parts of the index have a different color. I'm going to press Shift A, and we're going to add a random value between and just plug it here. Change it from float to integer and make the max value to be the number of materials that you have. So I have a total of 3 materials, and I'm going to plug the value back to the material index and the attributes into the ID here. So yeah, basically that was how the animation was done. Now for the world, you can pretty much use a plane and just instance different spheres of object there. That was how I was able to make the scene I showed at the beginning of this tutorial. But for the sake of time, I won't like to prolong this. So you can just change your world to black so that you have something like this, and you are pretty much good to go. That will be all for this tutorial. You can now render this as an image sequence or as an FFmpeg video. It's just easy, so it won't take much of your time. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, let me know any tutorial you'd like me to teach in the comment section.